Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'm looking at this, the Wilson Dynapower Carbon driver. Now I've been really looking forward to reviewing this club for you guys. Actually, I've loved the whole Dynapower range. I tried the Dynapower Titanium. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but it was still, still a really good driver for your sort of higher handicap players. Tried the hybrid the other day, which was just a lot of fun to hit. Check out the channel for that review. I actually got, trying to work out where it is, got the fairway wood to review as well in the next couple of weeks for you guys. But this is the one that I'm most excited for because really the carbon, this model is sort of more suited for me. And that's why I really wanted to pick up and give it a try. Now, yes, this review, by the way, is coming out on a Sunday. Now, if you're not new to the channel, you know that normally with new clubs, I release them on a Friday and then you have another review on the Sunday. However, with this, even though technically it is the current model, this has run from 2023 into 2024. We've started seeing the new Dynapower sort of leaked out on tour, on the conforming list. So, we know it's just about to be replaced around the corner. And also, has been out for 2 years. So now, there is a big second-hand market about this club, which is sort of the main point of the reviews on the Sunday. So this is why it's on a Sunday and not a Friday. But do not worry, we've still got a few new clubs to come out to review for you guys on a Friday for, well, coming out for the next couple of weeks before the end of the year. Yeah, nearly at the end of the year. It sort of threw me off then, but yeah, we are. Well, this is coming out. This is being filmed at the moment in October, but this is coming out in November, I believe. Pretty sure. Anyway, let's get back to this. So, as always with this club, what we're going to do is we're going to have a closer look at it. Come back here, we're going to go through all the technology that's in this club. Then we're going to get down to the range, we're going to throw some figures at you, and then come back here for the ACS Golf Scale. I have to admit, as I've already said, I'm really, really excited about this one. All right, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go. And I think this thing's a great looking club. I really do. I like that dark red on the bottom. I like the top of it as well, that carbon fiber and the Dynapower there. You've got a Wilson logo there as well for alignment. It's just a really good looking club. I love the shape of it as well. This Dynapower. Instead of with this carbon, it's sort of aimed for more your better players. So it's a bit more of a compact shape over the titanium. Yeah, I just absolutely love it. I think it's a really good looking club. And more importantly, it looks premium. A lot of the Wilson clubs I've really enjoyed, like the D7 I did review the other day, really great. The finishes weren't that great with them. They just didn't quite look premium. Obviously, they came in a cheaper bracket price-wise, but they just didn't look that premium. I think the Dynapower really does look premium. It really does. And if you haven't seen new photos of the new Dynapower that's coming out, I've got that on my Instagram, by the way, ACS Golf. They look insane. They look even more premium. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on one of them. I will probably try and get my hands on one of them next year rather than waiting 2 years like I have done with this. But yeah, good looking club. Now, and also, just want to say the head cover game as well. It is a smart, good looking club there. Really is. Not going to lie, I feel like they could do with a little bit more fluff inside. It's not the fluffiest. Yeah, that's my only sort of issue with it. The actual outside of it feels great. And I love that red tag to pull it on, and then that to pull it off. But it's a little bit more fluffiness inside, thank you. And then that would be perfect. But anyway, let's get into the technology that's in here. So overview from Wilson Staff's actual website. The new highly adjustable Dynapower Carbon driver features composite panels on the crown. So there you go, on the crown you can see that carbon fiber, and on the sole of the sole, there you go. There's the sole plate there. I've got a bit lost there because I thought there might be carbon fiber there, but it's not. So carbon fiber here and carbon fiber on the top, obviously to save weight in these areas so they can move it around. So it lowers the spin and neutral ball flight tendencies. So the whole point of this is it's for the better play. It's very much a neutral ball flight tendencies, while with the titanium that was built more for the draw, for your high handicappers who slice the ball, while this is definitely very much in that sort of neutral position, which better players prefer. Personally myself, I prefer the club being sort of that sort of even open, or definitely neutral. I feel like if it's closed with my sort of dodgy swing, I'll just hook it left all the time. I won't get that natural phase. I do actually like it being a little bit more open, or definitely neutral. I really do. You also get a six-way adjustable hosel, which allows for easy loft and spin adjustments. We'll go further. Well, look into that in a second. Anyway, Dynapower AI. AI. You talk about any club manufacturer now, and they talk about AI, artificial intelligence. Obviously, Callaway have been pushing it for years, and now all the other guys have been getting on it as well. The Dynapower AI analysed thousands of permutations to find a perfect thickness for each section of the club face, resulting in the fastest ball speeds and maximum forgiveness. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? Straight off the bat, it's exactly what we want. Excellent. Low spin head design, so lightweight carbon panels on the crown and the sole. Move the CG low and forward. So they're trying to get it forward here to create a lower spinning driver head with a neutral ball flight tendency. So there you go. You still do have a weight at the back. You've got 12 gram weight here. Pretty sure in the titaniums it was heavier. So there is that little bit of MOI there by having that weight at the back. But the whole point is try and shift that weight to the front and make this a low sort of spin bomber, which, that's what they do nowadays. That's how, drivers are really trying to increase the distance. They're not, changing the wheel because they can't, they're not allowed to. But what they're trying to do is increase the ball flight to help get the ball in the air, which is doing with that weight at the back there, but then decreasing the spin. So you get the ball flying higher straight off the bat, but then because of the less spin, it doesn't balloon up in the air and you get maximum distance, which is great. Not too great if you're a slow swing speed player, but generally for the, the masses, it works really well. And that's why people are finding that, they try the new drivers and they're working for them more because of that low spin. Or you could take your old driver and get fitted for it and get the right combinations and probably get exactly the same as you would for these guys, because let's be honest, a lot hasn't changed over the last few years. Definitely, I'd say over the past eight years. Yeah, go back 8 years and you'll get a driver that performs just as well as these. Maybe not a Wilson driver. We'll add that, but you can. Anyway, really went down a different track there. Let's get it back into it. So the new way adjustability driver sleeve allows for more launch and spin adjustment. So you have this new adjustability sleeve here. You see it that well there. There you go. Annoying thing is, if you have this on the top, you can't see what setting it's at. All you get is that sort of red dot, just say standard, and the rest you don't. And this doesn't basically show, the loft adjustments, because this does actually close the face. So if you look at a diagram, which Wilson have done actually and have released, they show you what these adjustments do. So if you de-loft this club, so this is a 12-degree head, which is perfect. I do actually play a 12-degree head just to help me get the ball in the air. If I loft it down to 11, it actually opens the face up more. So it's more for fade setting or pushing it right. And then if you, increase the loft, which you can do, so up to 2, that actually closes the face to help for more of a draw. And so there you go. But that's the sort of the problem there. Well, with a 12-degree head, I'm not going up to 14, but it's great that you can change the loft, but it does affect the ball flight, which, some of you out there might just want more loft to help you get a ball in the air, but, and really enjoy the ball flight at the moment. Unfortunately, this will change it. It's not like a Titleist or a Callaway, adjustment sleeve where, you can change the loft, but the lie stays the same. In this case, the lie does change, but it still does offer, adjustability up by 2 degrees. So this can go all the way up to 14 in 0.5 increments, and it can go all the way down to 11. So you can, adjust it. Get my words out. You can adjust it by 1 degree lower. There you go. So this could go down to 11, which I did hit a few with 11, and it definitely pushed it out a little bit more than I normally would see. So do be aware of that. When it comes down to shafts, you basically got the Ventus blue with it, which I think is a great shaft, or you could pick up a Hazardous Smoke red RDX. Again, great shaft. So 2 great shaft options there just to stock. You can pick up aftermarket shafts as well. With the carbon, you could get an 8-degree head, a 9-degree head, a 10.5-degree head, and a 12-degree head. Unfortunately, you can only get left hand in the 9-degree, so you couldn't get that in 10.12 or 8. Volume 460 cc, swing weight D3. So there you go. There's all the tech in there. Now let's get down to range. I'm going to throw some figures at you. We're going to see how well this club does. However, before we go, there was a slight issue when I brought this club. So I actually had an aftermarket shaft in here. They actually put the even flow Riptide 50 gram stiff, so 6.0 stiff. I do like this shaft. It is a good shaft. However, it was 1 inch shorter, which the joy of buying things secondhand on the secondhand market, sometimes these things happen. Unfortunately, the person I was buying from, who was lovely, just didn't realize it was 1 inch shorter, which you wouldn't. I personally, because I test all these clubs and I've got drivers coming out, well, everywhere behind me pretty much, I can pick up a driver and go straight away, that's not the right length. However, your average golf out there won't notice. So do be aware when buying things on the second-hand market. Maybe get them to measure the shaft to tell you it's basically the right length if they haven't done so already, in case you get what happened to me there. So unfortunately, I did test this at the degrees I wanted, 12 degrees. So I was actually looking for 12-degree head to match my Cobra that's behind me. But it was 1 inch shorter than normal. So I was playing 44.75 inches rather than 45.75 inches. So I do take that into account when I look at these results. I have gone and actually extended this now to the full length. So it's now 45.75 inches long. I don't suggest, always with a graphite shaft, extending it, because it does maybe, weaken it at the tip. Well, not the tip, the top of it. But if you're going 2 inches or 1 inch, generally you're fine with that. But just be aware. But yeah. So at some point I'm sure I will mention my findings by giving it that extra inch. But anyway, let's get down to the range now. Don't know why I'm looking at that. Now let's get down to the range. I'm going to throw you some figures at you at the settings that this is, 1 inch shorter, about 12 degrees. All right. See you back in a bit. So here I am down at the range. Now, even though this was 1 inch shorter, I'm still really impressed with the figures, to be fair. So I had on average a carry of 226 yards, a total distance of 247 yards, ball speed 144 miles per hour, launch angle 15 and height 78 feet, with an average swing speed of 96 miles per hour. So obviously was a little bit slower than I normally would with my normal driver, which is normally around that 98 mark. However, those distance numbers are just below what I'd expect from a sort of an average, well, not an average driver, but a normal driver that I'm using. So really happy with that. And then when I did manage to get the swing speed up to 98 miles per hour, when I really went for it, suddenly I was getting a carry of 240 yards, total distance 258 yards, ball speed 148 miles per hour, some really, really good results. And the main thing about this driver, as you can see from this, very consistent with the ball flight, really good launch. It is a 12-degree head, but still really good launch, really good feet. And it was just fun to hit, and that's the main thing about it. If you can find a club that's fun to hit, then it's great and it stays in the bag. Here's a quick look at the table. So there you go, those are the figures. So as I said, average 226 yards carry, 247 yards total distance, good ball speed, good launch, well, really happy with the launch angle of 15 degrees on average, and that swing speed just a little bit lower than 98 that I normally have. However, when I got to the 98 miles per hour speed, when I really went for it with this short shaft, then suddenly 258 total yards, really happy with that, and the ball speed jumped up as well. Shortest on the day was a very slow swing, 94 miles per hour. Didn't really hit it right, but still 241 total yards. I'd generally be happy with that on the golf course. So overall, really pleased with the results here. Well, what can I say? I mean, let's be honest. Even 1 inch shorter, that's really not bad figures, And the most important thing about this, I enjoyed hitting this. And that's what I wanted from this club the most, to be honest. And I'll get more into that at the end of this video. But anyway, let's get into the ACS Golf Scale. So remember, we've got distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, with this, obviously, I did take into account the fact it was 1 inch shorter, but I'm still getting on average, 2.26 carry, 247 yards total distance. And when I did manage to get it up to that 98 miles per hour swing speed, because that's the main issue, with that shorter shaft, getting the swing speed up. When I did manage to really go for it and get it to 98, to get suddenly 258 total yards distance, 257 total yards distance, getting that ball speed up to that 150 mark, it's definitely in there. It really is. So for me, going into distance, so the first category for this driver, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. I really do think it's got some really good distance, and it's definitely up there with the main competitors. However, do remember this is sort of Wilson Staff's sort of, their low spin, sort of being shown as bomber. The titanium's more their friendly, forgiving model, and this is sort of the low spin, better player one. Do I think it's up there with the likes of the QI10, the Cobra LS, Dark Speed from this year, all those sort of low spin bombers? No, I don't. I think it's up there with, my Cobra Dark Speed. There it is. That's the one. My Cobra Dark Speed X. I do think it's with a QI10, but not necessarily with those low spin bombers. But this is sort of Wilson were trying to do, I feel like, with this driver. However, again, even with them, maybe, they're all, because I did a QI10 this year, I've done the Dark Speed this year, they've all got 4 out of 5. Same as this one, definitely deserves it. If I had to rank the three, I'd probably put the QI10 first, then the Dark Speed, and then this Wilson one. So, but it's definitely up there, and it's, really happy with the numbers. Definitely on a golf course, I would not know any different. It's only because I'm at the range, and I'm looking at the figures, it's 2 yards shorter on average, Am I going to notice that on a golf course? No, I'm not. So definitely 4 out of 5 for distance. It's got some really nice distance. Feel, 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed the feel of it, that carbon feel. Enjoyed the sound of it as well. Off-centered hits, I could generally tell where they were. It felt soft but yet powerful. Just really nice feeling driver. They got that PKR2 new face on there as well. It was enjoyable to hit. It was fun to hit. I really enjoyed hitting it. And that's the whole thing about feel when it comes down to these sort of clubs. If they're fun to hit, generally they feel nice. If they feel awful, I don't think they're going to be fun to hit because you're not enjoying hitting them. But with this, I just wanted to hit a ball, just keep on hitting a ball. I love the feel of this. I thought it was really good. But it's not like the softest, it's not like a Titleist feel wise, it's not like a Mizuno feel wise. So that's why it's got a 4 out of 5, but still really, really nice. Really enjoyed it. Looks, I've given this a 4 out of 5. I do love the looks of it. I really do. I think it is a good looking club. I love the head cover. The only issues is nowadays you don't really see that anymore. Everything's sort of all blended in. I think I preferred it to have been blended in, sort of like the Dark Speed and all the others. And so yeah, and then the Wilson on the bottom, just feel like maybe they could make it stand out a little bit more or something like that. I don't know, but 4 out of 5, I think it is a good looking club. But yeah, just a few little things about it that maybe I think they could possibly improve, maybe even make it look even more premium, compared to like your Dark Speeds and your Cobras and your TaylorMades and your Mizunos, etc., etc. Looking on now to, let's do forgiveness before price. So forgiveness, 3.5 out of 5. I was umming and ahhing about getting this up to a 4, but I don't necessarily think it's quite there as a 4, but I definitely think it's got enough forgiveness in there for your average golfer. 100%, 3.5 out of 5. It's not a bad mark for a driver. It did have a few times a ball speed drop down, one when it went down 139 miles per hour, but so down from that 140, 150 that I'm looking for, but obviously with the shorter shaft, with that average 145, or 144, sorry, average did drop down below that 140 mark. But that was quite a low swing speed. But again, it wasn't the greatest of hits. So there was definitely a little bit of drop in there. But still, I think the forgiveness is pretty good. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Definitely enough for your average golfer out there. Again, just a little bit behind the Dark Speed, which was a 4. A little bit behind the QI10 again. Sort of what they're competing against. Just slightly off, I feel like. Slightly off. But again, I'm not going to notice that on the golf course. I'm really not. You might know, well, I noticed that after hitting 20, 30 shots with it in a row. If I'm on the golf course, I'm hitting one, then hitting one, I might not notice that. But overall, not bad at all. 3.5 out of 5. Now, on to price. Price, because it's a new club technically still, I've sort of given it 2 ratings and then taken the average. So if we're going secondhand market, then on eBay, Golf Bidders, which is a secondhand store over here in the UK, you're looking on sort of Golf Bidder around £180 starting off, so that's around $225. On eBay, you're sort of starting off around that £165, or around that sort of $210, and it can range depending on the quality and how good they are, is in like how little used it is, etc. Which I don't think is bad at all. I think that's very good for a current driver or driver that's just about to be replaced. However, if you look at other drivers on the market, which you compare it to, the Sim 2 TaylorMade is roughly around that price, secondhand at the moment, and that's one of the best drivers out there still. So you go, well, hold on, do I want a little bit more distance? Do I want a little bit more forgiveness? And then you probably go down that Sim 2 route. So there's definitely, and I think even the Mizuno's, they're 220, 230 models, which are really good. Prices down the same here. So there's a lot of options and a lot of competition against this, but it also shows you how well these clubs have done, the fact that they are holding their value in the second-hand market. Now, normally Wilson's clubs just plummet when it comes down to value in the second hand, but these are holding its value quite well. So it does show you what a good club it really is. So yeah, so for that, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. Not bad at all. Now, if we're talking brand new, as I mentioned, this is about to be replaced, but still, in the UK, you can pick this up for £279.99. So go and get yourself fitted for it and have a driver that is, let's be honest, even though I say it's just below the dark speed, just below the QI10, it's just as good as its main competitors, as long as you see it as that sort of level. If you're going for a low spin bomber, now I want to try the QI10 LS, I think it's the LS, isn't it? Yeah, dark speed LS, all this sort of stuff. Is it QI10 or is it QI10 Plus? No, that's a Fairywood. QI10 LS. Low spinning model, the G430 LST, the TSR, now the GT3 and all those sort of things. I don't think it's going to compete. But if you're going across the range and that's what you're doing, going for middle ground, then I think it's a perfect middle ground driver. I really do. And then suddenly you're looking at £279.99, which I think is an absolute bargain. In the US at the moment, I found it for $300. I think you can probably find it cheaper as well, because that's actually on Wilson's website. So again, that's a really good price. So price right now for this, I've actually given it a 5 out of 5. I really do think, if you want to go down the Wilson route and get yourself a fantastic driver, you're not worried about getting a next year model, because you understand that, let's be honest, the differences barely change, then this is a perfect option. You go and get yourself go and get yourself fitted for it right now. It really is the best time to be buying this club, because that's a steal. So that'd be a 5 out of 5. So price, I've given it 4 out of 5. I've averaged a 2, brought it down to a 4. So yeah, really good. Really, really good. So my overall thoughts about this Wilson Staff Dynapower Carbon driver. I love it. I love it. I really do. I know I've said, maybe it's a little bit down from the dark speed, a little bit down from the QI10, which I think I've mentioned about 4 or 5 times in this video now. But I love it. It feels good. It looks good. Some really solid ratings across the board. I've got some really decent figures from it. I've enjoyed hitting it, and it's fun to hit, and that's the main thing I like about this club, and that's what I look for clubs in my bag. They're fun to hit. You go down to the course, and you're like, I'm really looking forward to just absolutely letting rip with this. And this is exactly what that club is. Will I personally put it in my bag? I mean, the Dark Speed X has been an absolute relevation. Has been amazing for me. Just forget about that word. Has been amazing for me all year. It really, really has. Fairway after fairway, decent distance, great forgiveness. So for me, would I change it for the Wilson Dynapower? I don't know. I think if I got a Ventus Blue Shaft in this, it would be a very close call. That's how much I enjoyed this drive. And to be honest, now that this is an inch longer and the right length now, I might, get it down to the golf course more and give it a test and just see, because I do think it's a great club. I really do. And I even know my Cobra, I've had it in the bag all year. I do get itchy feet every now and again, and I don't think this would be a bad replacement at all if I decide to go down that route. So don't be surprised if beginning of next year this is in the bag, because that's how much I've enjoyed it. I really have. And I love Wilson Staff as a brand. Their stuff they're doing at the moment is really good stuff, and it tends to be a bit cheaper from the bigger guys. Definitely personally going to look at their Dynapower forged irons as well. Try and get my hands on a set of them soon as well, because I think they're going to be great also. So yeah, great clubs. Wilson done really well recently. Keep up the good work, Wilson, because you're releasing some really good stuff. I look forward to the Dynapower next year. I really do. I will try and get my hands on one as well to review for you guys. Alright guys, now I hope you've enjoyed this video. Even longer video than normal, which always is a sign that the club is pretty good. Really is, really is. I'm so happy that I've enjoyed it because I really wanted to pick this up. I really wanted to love this club, and I do. I absolutely do love it. I do. It's great. All right, guys, leave it down comments down below. Do you play Wilson? If you do, what clubs do you play? Let me know how you get on with them. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like, and also remember to subscribe to the channel for weekly ACS golf reviews. And added extra bits every now and again. Got versus videos coming up when I put clubs versus each other. Well, got a few extra ideas as well coming into the new year. So do remember to hit that subscription button so you do not miss out on anything such as cool things like this. Saying that, some people might look at that and go, "Oh my god, it's a Nike club," but I promise you, it's cool. Anyway, I'll catch you soon for the next ACS golf review or any other ACS golf video. All right, see you then. Bye bye.